No one really knows how many undocumented people are in Canada. The government estimates there are up to 500,000. Migrant groups say it could be higher.
This isn't about people pouring over the border. Many people become undocumented because they stay longer than they're legally allowed to. Say someone doesn't return to their home country after an asylum claim is denied, or stays after their student, visitor, or temporary worker status expires. Everyone has a different story about how they ended up living in the shadows. The man leading this iconic Canadian cheer lived for years with a secret.
Basketball fans, welcome into Canada's home for Talking Hoops. This is The Hangout. I am Akil Augustine.
Basketball fans know Akil Augustine as a courtside star, host for NBA Canada. But before all of that, Augustine was a kid from Trinidad and Tobago, without papers, undocumented. He was brought to Canada when he was 4 to live with an aunt. He didn't find out he was undocumented until his friends started getting jobs.
And as weeks go on, you keep asking questions, then you realize, oh, no one knows what the hell's going on. And so I finally figured out, yeah, I'm undocumented. And
what was that realization like?
well, it's bad news, so it's scary.
Yeah.
Your stomach drops a couple floors.
The hardest part was getting sick and no health card.
I remember one time I got the flu and my family was away. And it was the worst flu I ever had, and I knew I couldn't go to the doctor. And so I was alone in the house, and I remember it took me a whole day to get back up the stairs. So I'd take one flight of stairs and I'd be out for an hour. I was just so out of breath, I couldn't breathe. I think that was probably one of the scarier moments.
It took a decade to navigate a path to citizenship, thanks to community connections, lawyers, teachers, mentors. They made an application for status under humanitarian and compassionate grounds.
Well, this is probably the most important thing I own, which is my certificate of Canadian citizenship, which I got back in 2015. You ever play tag? Home safe?
Yeah.
It's kind of like home safe.
Now he works to help other undocumented people get status.
I can provide anecdotal evidence that if you bring a little kid from Trinidad who doesn't know much and raise him in Canada under the great education system and support systems that we have, he can flourish and add things to our society. That's what I know.
How to deal with hundreds of thousands of undocumented people is a political and social problem for Ottawa. Increasingly, the government is sending them home. In the last fiscal year, Canada Border Services says more than 15,000 people were deported for breaking